Hello and welcome to a late night edition of Video Games to the Max. I'm your host Sean Garmer here with me as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison,
Howdy.
and this is episode 478 of the show that's a bit delayed, thanks to the winter storm making uh, my job incredibly insane over the past couple of days, and I'm hoping that this weekend with more craziness supposed to happen, it doesn't get just as bad again. But
Right.
we'll see. Um, but yes, we are doing the episode we should have done on Monday. Today, we do have a bunch of more stuff on Ubisoft. That's pretty much like right after we did the show. The next day, they did their. We're doing an entire restructure, and then they outlined everything. So we'll get into that. Xbox had their developer direct. We'll talk about that as well. Mark's been playing Metal Gear Solid Delta 3 Delta the remake. I've been playing Escape from Ever After, Cairn, and Steel Century Group. So I'll talk about all those, and we'll get into maybe some other things as well if time allows, and we'll do all that next, right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the housekeeping really quick here. We appreciate you whether you watch us live, which is usually on Mondays, and then you can always watch later on demand on the same YouTube channel, W2 Network. You can also watch us live on Twitch, W2 Network, or on Facebook, W2 Network, or Kick, W2 Network as well. Or you can also listen on podcasts, wherever it is that you enjoy those podcasts there. Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff, YouTube Music, wherever it is that you like to listen, you can do so. Also, you can watch our other shows that we do on the network if you subscribe to the channel. Valid Broadcasting folks, they do a tremendous job with the entertainment stuff. So if you like movies, TV, all the other things that are not video games, basically, you can check them out on a weekly basis as well. You can find them on all those other places too. And you can also check out our anime show, Taco Cafe. They do a great job of reviewing all this, monthly or quarterly anime stuff. Go check them out as well. They do a fantastic job on their end, on their show too, and you can also listen to them on podcasts. So, and you can find all of our shows separately: Video Games to the Master, Taco Cafe, or Valid Broadcasting, and get whatever you enjoy there. Subscribe where you'd like. So, getting into it here, I guess we'll start how we usually do with our games of the week here, the games we've been playing. Mark, you said you were playing a Metal Gear Solid Delta,
Yep.
The remake. How you liking it compared to the original there?
I think remake's a bit of a strong word. Like it very much is that game, except with like a slightly new control system that's a little more like first person ish. Uh, it's all right. I beat it twice. I got the platinum trophy.
Oh,
Felt pretty good about that.
hey, it didn't take you very long then. Well, I mean, I guess because you already know
Well, it's
the
been a
game.
while since I played that game. I basically played it for like 3 days. I wouldn't say straight, but I played it, pretty seriously for 3 days. The first time was just to collect all to get all the collectibles. I played in like super easy mode. Uh, and the second time was to play it on like extreme mode and get the hard rank or like the fox hound rank because that was a trophy. Uh, there are a few fun ways to glitch in that game. Involving the camo system. Like if you're on like if you're going forward, you can hot swap the camo, like keep swapping it over and over, and you can basically walk in the air, and you get higher as you walk. Uh, So that lets you break a few boundaries in that game. So you don't have to fight some bosses.
All right.
So that made it pretty easy. Because the fox the not fox hunter foxhound rank, that's the one. It requires you to beat the game in under 5 hours, um, which is challenging on its own. You know, if you did it normally, but with this airwalking thing, I beat it in like 2.5 because I skipped two of the main bosses.
Nice.
Yeah, uh, and that game is hard if you can't use like if you have not a lot of health and you can't use health recovery items. Uh, so some of the bosses in that thing are like brutal, and there's a sequence pretty near the end when you're on a motorcycle, and the guide was like, "Oh, if you equip this one camo and you face enemies, they won't shoot at you." That's a lie. They still shoot at you, maybe not as much as they would normally, but they still shoot at you. So I'm just like replaying sections of the game over and over and over. Like I uh one of the main bosses, the Volgan fight, when you're like facing him like hand to hand. I played it like 70 times, probably
Good
if not
lord.
more. So yeah, that was not fun, but I did it. And then I'm gonna sell the game back to a store.
Don't want to keep it as part of the collection,
If I beat it and it's not something that's like really replayable, like Katamari Damacy, you can always just throw in as like a party game or something. But I got the platinum trophy, so what do I need to keep it around for, really? You know.
huh? Fair
uh,
enough.
but yeah, it's good. You know, I still want Metal Gear Solid 4. I mean, that's the one that everyone wants, I think. But we'll see if that ever happens.
Yeah.
Uh,
It seems like they are trying to kind of set you up to maybe it doesn't happen.
right. And the last thing I got, well, the other thing I got, and I'm not gonna play it obviously, but uh, let's see, I got this, which is
Oh,
the Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne Collector's Edition from Japan.
nice.
Yeah, I got the PS4
How
one.
much did that
Only $40.
run? Okay.
Uh,
I thought you were
eBay,
going to tell me like $200 or something.
no, eBay's eBay's a lot higher. That's like $100, if not like 150 new. I got it used from a like Japanese online, not they're not online, they like, but it's like a thrift store in Japan, and it's like Goodwill over here, but they own like an online store as well. Uh, yeah, $40 isn't bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So yeah, it's pretty happy about that. What are you playing?
Well, I've been reviewing, like, my goal is to hope review all three of these over the weekend, and then I can, because I have another game that I can't talk about because the embargo's money, but they don't want us to talk about it.
Yeah,
That I have to review before that comes out on the 5th, and then now I have Romeo as a Dead Man that I'm at least have to capture footage for to help somebody else review, and then I don't know if I'm gonna want to end up reviewing it for one or not, depending if that code comes in or not. So the first game is Escape from Ever After, which was kickstarted in like 2018. It's a two-person dev team. It's essentially a Paper Mario inspired game.
yeah,
Um, except you are a fairy tale. You're like fairy tale creatures, except for like you have what would be the knight or the main character going against the evil dragon per se, and you wind up having the evil dragon as your party member because both of you guys get captured by this corporation called Ever After Inc. And your whole mission is to essentially take them down because you got to take down the corporation that is taking down your fairy tales and all the other fairy tales. Um, so you might run into the three blind mice, for example, or the three little pigs, or
right.
you know that kind of thing. Um, I like the characters. I think they're very well done. Um, the story, I feel like, kind of peters out towards the end, but the gameplay is really, really solid.
Yeah.
As you would expect. I mean, they definitely nail the Paper Mario, like the challenge of it and the whole gameplay aspect of it. Like, you definitely are gonna feel the pain if you don't block. Um, so get ready for that. You're gonna, and it's like, well, not block, but you know how you have to like stop them from hitting you,
Yeah,
or
guard. Or
press the
yeah.
button,
Yep.
like Super Mario RPG, all that. So there's that. There's a bunch of side quests. There's lots of things for you to do. So I'm really enjoying it. It's something I'll probably keep playing little by little as I keep going. After I get the review done,
Right.
but overall, it's a really good game. Especially for being a 2-person dev team. Like, that's really great that they were able to like nail this, and it has its own vibe. It's not like, oh, we're trying to copy Paper Mario completely.
Right.
It's inspired, but also not like just, oh man, we're just trying to rip it off or whatever. So I would put it up there with the kind of the Bug Fables and Born of Bread and those kind of that have done really well with the Paper Mario.
Sure.
So yeah. The other game I've been playing is called Steel Century Groove, which is essentially, look, the graphics aren't great if you're one of those people that really care about that stuff. Um, it's a rhythm game where you play with, you are a rhythm game where you get to control a robot, and the mech is the one that does the dancing while you press the buttons on the screen. And then there's a story, like sort of a open zone-ish kind of thing that's very reminiscent of Pokemon. It has like the trainer battles and things like that you go through. Um, so there's a little bit of that. They take a lot from Pokemon on that front, but you can kind of, you can build out your mechs, and you can get different ones, and you're constantly finding different items for them and stuff like that. And the rhythm game part is fun. I wouldn't say like you got your most classic amazing music or anything, but it's solid, and you also can add in your own music. So if you have music on your, like I have it on PC. I think
Right.
it's only on PC right now. You can add in your own tracks and then make them work with the what you see on screen and stuff like that. And they have
Yeah.
different attacks that you can do as you go along, stuff like that. So it's fun. It's something that you can put on, do a few battles, whatever, go to the next like quest line or whatnot, and then kind of like stop and keep going. I've been enjoying it. It's
Cool.
fun for what it is. Um, Also, the last one is probably the biggest one of the group, is Karen. It's gotten really good reviews so far. I think it has like an 88 on OpenCritic right now. It is a climbing game,
Yep.
in all essence, and it tells like this really nice story. It has some like tear jerky moments. It has some other ones that are kind of terrifying, also. Um, but I don't want to spoil that. Mainly, what you're going to be doing here is uh, you're going to be climbing, a lot of climbing. The whole point is that you essentially have like free reign of this mountain to kind of go about it however you want. Um, and essentially, you do need to try to find like the footholds on the mountain itself, and it does do a good job of like kind of trying to show you where they can be, but if you take a wrong turn or you stretch too far or you spend too much time like without stamina or whatever, you could easily just fall down. And then it could become a frustrating experience. Like it took me a little bit. It took me a bit to kind of get it. Um, Once I did, it was a much better experience. There's also not save point. It does not auto save, so you have to find save points in the mountain where you
I,
can rest and stuff like that.
I assume like caves and camps and crap.
It has this little area that'll tell you this is a save point essentially.
Yeah.
And then you can go and rest and like kind of refill your stuff, your water and your groceries and whatever else you're going to take in your bag. Um, and if you're not prepared when you go through some treacherous parts, you're going to wind up stuck, right? Or you're going to have to go back down or whatnot. So it's a like I said, it can be a challenging if you want. You can also make it more challenging for yourself. You can remove any of the where it shows you where when you've locked into a foothold, you can remove that. You can also make it really easy. Also, if you just want to enjoy the story, so there's very difficulty modes on there too. There's accessibility stuff too that makes it easier for you to see where things are and
Right.
whatnot. So if I I think if you're intrigued by this game at all, I think you should give it a shot. Especially if you like that idea of like, okay, just freedom, going up the mountain, kind of having that experience of you are Ava and going up and kind of experiencing what she's going through. And it's a really great journey. I think it's one of the first perhaps I thought Big Hops got some. Randy didn't particularly like it as much as I did. Big Hops got some good reviews. I think this is the one that's the first one that's universally reviewed well of the year. We'll see how it holds up, as we go throughout the rest of the year. But Karen deserves what it's
It's
got.
your early game of the year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna put it at the 9. I saw some people give it a 10. I don't know if I'm gonna put it at the 9 territory for me.
Right.
But as somebody that this isn't necessarily my kind of game, I learned to really appreciate it, and I think you can see what it's trying to do, and it does that well. And yeah, I definitely do think if you're kind of like one of those that kind of see critic scores or or just scores in general, you see, okay, it's really positive. I want to check this out. I do think there's a demo on Steam, so you could always play the demo and see if it works for you, and then go buy it. And that's pretty much it for the 3 games I've been playing here. So let's go ahead and get into the news here, which the news is pretty much going to focus on like 2 main things. One of them we may not spend too long on because the Xbox Developer Direct is now a whole week old.
I don't know. I actually just watched it tonight.
Oh, you did? Okay, you watched it just tonight. Okay, interesting. I have not watched it again since the day that it aired.
Yeah,
but I guess before we get to that, we do need to talk about. Although to be fair, I'm not saying from firsthand experience for either one of us, but I think we do need to talk about High Guard.
Well, Jens played it tonight for like an hour, and then he uninstalled it, and he had a lot of thoughts on it. First of all, the one thing he said is he finds it unfathomable why people would want to buy cosmetic DLC for a first-person game. And I was like,
that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Well, it's like they've been doing that. Like that's what Call of Duty all is, I mean, not just weapon skins, but all the Jan Silent Bob costumes, or now I'm Judge Dredd, or now I'm John McClane from Die Hard, all that crap. And he's like, yeah, but you don't get to see it. I'm like, well, you see it during like the win screen and the character select screen, and that's about it. But yeah, he didn't like it. He's like, this is terrible.
Did he say why it's terrible?
He didn't like the. I mean, he said like the farming, the crystal farming is kind of bad. And he just said it didn't like play well. Like I think it ran fine for him. He's on a PS5 Pro, but he just didn't have any fun. So he played it for like an hour and then deleted it.
I saw a lot of performance issues as well on
That's probably
PC.
more on PC, I would
Yeah,
assume, or like right around launch it might have happened. I mean, this is like a week out. Uh, and I was like, why'd you even play it in the first place? He was like, well, I want to see like a slow motion train wreck. And I'm like,
I felt like that's a lot of people that just
yeah.
tuned in and were like, I want to see if this is really bad.
Well, he even
Uh,
asked me, he's like, oh, are you and Sean gonna play it? I'm like, hell no. Like I have no interest in it. And I said, you have less interest in it because
yeah, exactly.
you don't play like
Yeah,
free to play games or like really good competitive
the only
games.
free to
So,
play I'll play is like Genshin or
right.
all those, but not multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
So yeah. Yeah, he can talk about High Guard.
yeah, I mean, it looks. What's funny is it looked like it was going to get the attention that they wanted it to,
Right.
where it was going to get a lot of positive things, and then all of a sudden the bad reviews started coming, and then we had the discourse of, oh, people are being mean, and they're being unfair, and
Right.
all of that stuff, and I'm just like, there's times where maybe you should just we don't need to go that route and just accept that the game isn't as good as it should be. It doesn't deliver in what you want it to.
I mean,
Uh,
the game also had faults of like not really having like an open beta test. Like that's what one of the
yeah,
things that Yen said. Like and like the developers were acting like high and mighty or they had hubris about it. And I'm like, well, my thought is like I can kind of see the developer point of view a little of like they've been building this game for years. They're used to it, or they can't like see outside of it that well. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
a beta test should have happened, or getting customer feedback, or whatever, all that stuff. But they probably thought they were making like the greatest game ever, or
I think also the damning thing is to find out that it's totally Jeff Keighley's fault as to why Highguard has all of this bad press.
right,
That they were totally fine with it shadow dropping, and then Keighley was like, "Nah, it's got to be in the show." And then not only is it going to be in the show, it's going to be the one more thing.
yeah.
So let's just
Well,
put it at this terrible pedestal it doesn't need to be at.
I mean, it might not have been ready to be shadow dropped like that night or whatever. Uh,
Well, not that night. It was still going to shadow drop the same day it dropped, right? The
yeah,
26th. But it wouldn't have had all this everybody glued to it,
yeah. Like
because of what happened.
if the trailer had happened like the middle of the show, people would have been all right, and then just moved on. But
Or not even been there and just let the game speak for itself as the devs said that they wanted to do.
well, yeah,
You
didn't you
know,
say like last time or like last show that they paid for the trailer?
no, they
So,
didn't.
oh,
So that was the whole point. Keeley, this is all Keeley. They did not pay for the spot.
he is the
Yeah.
game maker, just like how Trump is the game maker when it comes to Republican politics.
Like, yo, man, like this is not
The
uh
kingmaker.
this was a bad call by
Yeah,
Keeley. It's a bad call. Let's be honest here. Um and he tried to deflect and say, "Oh yeah, put all your blame on me. Don't blame the devs." All that. It was like, yo, man. Unfortunately, the people are gonna blame the devs. Thankfully, nobody's having to pay for this.
all right.
And that's the only thing that saves it from like being Concord or whatever.
That was the other thing that
Yeah.
Jens is kind of complaining about. He's like, why is the I don't even know the characters, but he's like, there's some redheaded woman in the game, and he's like, oh, her default costume is awful. Like, why is her good looking costume $18? I'm like, that's
Uh
the point.
yeah, they
Like,
want you to
like
they
they
want you
want
to
you to,
pay.
yeah, it's like they want you to think that her default costume is shitty, so you spend money on it. Like,
Right. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But all right. I mean, it'd be interesting. We get another week out, how
Right.
people
Yeah. See
feel
how it
about
actually
it.
shakes out, or if it
Yeah. I don't think
stabilizes.
it's gonna be in the running for like worst game of the year or anything like that. It's just, unfortunately, this is happening. I hate it for the dev team,
Right.
because they don't deserve that.
Biggest misfire of the year.
Yeah, and maybe something like that. Biggest first fire of the year, exactly. But yes, let's go ahead and move on to one of our bigger topics, Xbox.
Yep.
Uh, they did also, in the time that, and I'm gonna preface this by saying that I'm still doing the show based off of what we were gonna do on Monday.
Right.
So any news that came out that doesn't have to do with the main topics we were gonna cover on Monday, that came out during the week, that let's say something that came out yesterday, and we're not talking about it, it's because we're going to talk about it on the next episode.
Yep.
So, just because we don't want to like do everything today and then we get to Monday and there's nothing. All right.
Yeah. 10-minute long
Um,
episode.
so yeah, also that we don't have 3 hours to do this. So, Xbox's revenue is down everywhere.
Yep.
Even their content and services, which I think in this quarter they didn't have the greatest of things coming out, but also it seems like some of the positive things with the content services revenue that was happening is starting to peter out.
Yep.
We'll see how much this goes in as we go through the year now with the price increase to Game Pass, and if they're able to deliver on some of these releases and whatnot, if that brings some people back. And I mean, the hardware sales were down like 32%.
Right.
Which that's not a surprise. That's constantly been down
Yeah.
uh, for a long time now. It's going to continue to go down. It fell 5% year over year, which is not great. They're saying that there was strong first party content in the last year, which they didn't have in this fiscal. It is what it is. Look, Call of
Yeah.
Duty wasn't great. We've talked about that.
Right.
That was kind of their main thing that they were counting on. And it didn't deliver. So,
Yep.
it is to be expected that you will see that go down as that happens.
Right.
But hey, at least if you do have Game Pass like me and you want to have more things to play, there definitely will be that for this wave of titles. Resident Evil Village, you can play that now. I mean, all the stuff you can pretty much play now because it's all at the end of January essentially. You got Resident Evil Village, Mio, Memories in Orbit, the day one Metroidvania that has the cute little like orb looking thing with like looks like yellow hair, sort of, but it's not hair.
Right.
Keith liked it. He gave it a review. I think he gave it like 4 out of 5. So, and then Death Stranding Director's Cut, which is, I did say that if that ever came to Game Pass, it might be my one time I might give Death Stranding a shot to get the best version of that game on there. Roadcraft comes to PC Game Pass. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which that's a pretty good game. If you haven't played that yet, definitely go do so. Talos Principle 2, Anno Mutanium, Drop Duchy, My Sims, Warhammer, Space Marine 2, which that's also a really good game. If you haven't played that yet and you like the old Gears of War stuff, definitely go play that. It's awesome. Indica is also a really good, like, cool indie that came out a couple years ago. And Final Fantasy 2, which I wouldn't play that, but at least you get the remastered version. So.
Right.
But I would if there's one Final Fantasy not to play, don't play that one. Then you go play one. which is also on Game Pass. But all right. What'd you think of the Xbox Developer Direct, Mark?
I mean, it was fine for the most part. Uh, I think there were 4 games. 2 looked
Yeah.
okay, and I thought 2 looked kind of bad. And guess which ones which were, you know?
The not Fable and Forza?
Yeah, the
Or
Beast of Reanimation or
Reincarnation? Yeah.
Reincarnation. That and Forza looked fine. I thought Kiln and Fable looked bad.
Really? I thought
And
Fable had a good showing.
I should preface this by saying I think Fable on its own, Fable looked kind of fine. Like the few times you saw gameplay looked okay,
Right.
or like the character kind of walk riding the horse through like the meadows and shit looked all right. But I think their approach to Fable looked bad, or the way they kept talking about it. Uh, and I fear you won't have a lot of choice in that game.
I feel like that's the whole point that
Well,
they
the when I say that, like the guy going like, "Oh, you can choose what kind of hero you want to be." It's like, "Yo, well," and then this came out like a day later, but them saying like, "Oh, your physical appearance won't change based on your morality." Because that was like that was one of the big defining characteristics of the first game, or like the whole franchise. So it's like if you're evil, you grow horns and you get red eyes, or
right, yeah.
uh
That was cool. I love that.
so that's gone. And then them going like, oh, you can be what kind of hero you want to be.
I wonder if that's something they could add in later.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
I get the distinct feeling they don't want you to be a bad guy in this game. Like them going like, oh, you can raise the rent on houses to evict people. It's like, okay, can you kill
So you
anyone?
can essentially you could be an asshole, but you can't be like
You can't be like
evil. It's
right, yeah.
like yeah.
That was what I was saying. Yeah, like in the first game you could be evil, and even up to I think like Fable 3, like if you made certain choices in that game, like a lot of characters would die. So I
But
don't think
wasn't the whole point of that too was that they were trying to say that it's not like you do one bad thing and then you're gonna keep doing bad things and then you're just gonna, I think it was like there's gonna be more shades of gray.
yeah, but you could
Yeah.
still like be evil, like
Right.
I don't think you will be allowed to be like evil in this game, and that's what I'm really like scared about, or like because they should have shown you like doing bad stuff. Even like I did this after I watched the first trailer for like the first Fable game, and you could be evil in that, or they showed you doing evil shit in that game.
Right.
So them taking this like really mealy mouthed approach to morality, or going like, oh, there's no black and white, it's all shades of gray. It's like, don't you realize that's what kind of doomed that Star Wars Outlaws game? Because you couldn't be evil in that thing either. Like there should have been an option in that game to just like let you work for the Empire, and no, you couldn't do that. So that's why I think that Fable game was a little iffy to me. Uh as for Kiln, I see that as having zero audience and being hard to play, or
I hope not.
like
Um
uh, appealing to a very specific audience, and that's it. Like I
I'm
think the
interested to see just how it like is it any kind of friendly? Is it something that you can learn quickly?
I think
You know,
the clay pot, like the pottery wheel creation thing was kind of cool, like just making a
yeah,
pot or
that
whatever.
looks fun.
But like actually playing as like an arena fighter or whatever the hell they're doing, it's like what? Like why do you guys always make like games that like are half cool and then half who gives a fuck? Like it's just like brutal legend. Like you have this like great
Yeah.
looking character and like, oh, it looks like an Ocarina of Time, but like with heavy metal. And it's like, no, it's a strategy game that no one cares about.
Yes, it's great for like the first part, and then as soon as they introduce the strategy game thing, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh and even I thought Beast of what is it, Reincarnation? Or
Reincarnation, yeah.
I don't think it looked bad, but I think it looked very. I wouldn't say safe, but like very like I don't want to say stolen either, but just super derivative.
I like that there's turn based in there, along with the I guess Souls
Right.
type
Like
Sekiro combat.
I wasn't quite sure if it was like a Souls game or not, or because I wasn't like paying close attention specifically, but I don't think they ever said like, oh, if you rest at a bonfire, enemies will come back.
Right.
But
I think
like,
it's like the combat is inspired by Sekiro or something.
yeah, but like the hair thing reminded me of Bayonetta. The general world kind of reminded me of like Nier Automata or Stellar Blade. Uh, the combat looks kind of interesting, like you said, with like the wolf. You can, the wolf doing shit along with you, or you have more options with that. But we'll see how the story kind of pans out.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot said about the story. The one thing that worries me is that we know about Game Freak and their aversion to technical things.
Right.
And they're kind of like still all about, look, this is about delivering the game to you. It's not about, we're not gonna still, even though we're making it for things that are not the Switch or Switch 2. We are still trying to make sure it's about the game, right? We're
Yeah,
not
but like
gonna.
they aren't as Game Freak isn't as beholden to like old ass hardware either. So hopefully, with this being on like the Xbox and PS5, that'll be a much bigger technical bump up. The funny thing about that game was at the end though, and he's like, "Oh, it's going to be on Game Pass day one," and then he's like, "Wish listed also." It's like,
Yeah.
why? It's on Game Pass. Who gives
Well,
a
if you want
fuck?
to buy it on PS5, you can. So there's that part. I kind of have, again, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll try it out because it's on Game Pass. I'm not
Right.
gonna. If they would have said, "Oh no, you have to pay the $50 or $60 for it," I would have been like, I don't know,
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Do you,
being
Let
on
me
Game Pass
ask you
helps.
this: do you think there will be any at all Pokemon Easter eggs in that game?
I think so.
I'm not saying like, oh, if you beat the game on hard mode, you unlock you unlock like a Pikachu of that'll be your animal instead. But it's mean like a banner or a poster or something like that.
Right? Yeah. No. Um, I would say a Forza Horizon 6 looked really good.
Yeah,
Uh, Getting to go around Japan and all the stuff that they promised in there with the different race modes, and I know you're not a big fan of them saying that you're going to have essentially like a base that you can
I did watch that,
build.
and
And
I questioned for a lot of this stuff. I always question like, does it provide like a benefit to your experience in the game? Like if I plop down like, oh, I have a car. If I have a car painting factory in my base, does that mean car paints are cheaper or free? You know, or if
yeah,
it's just like, oh, it's just cosmetic. It's like then my base is going to be a field, because I want to be racing, not dealing with this shit.
right.
I always think Forza is funny also because they try to. I mean, that game was really nice. Don't get me wrong, but like you're driving at so fast speeds in that game, you don't even notice details.
Yeah, no, you're true. It's true, but I do think that it's gonna look awesome. It's gonna be fun.
Sure.
Look, it is the safest thing that they can do, but they are Forza Horizon 5 is doing amazing for them right now. They're gonna get to double dip again, like they did for 5 with 6. That's gonna be another win for them. So you got to hope that 6 delivers, and then you could just build it especially for the PS5 people. Um, yeah, I'm excited just because of the environment where it's gonna be. I
Sure.
think that's a lot of people. Same thing. We'll see. Yeah.
My two questions about the game is: will it have uh, Sun Kang in it. He was the guy who played Han from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
He needs to be like your like DJ or you're like helper into the events or whatever.
fair enough.
And it needs to have the Hulk car from Tokyo Drift as well.
That could happen, maybe.
Yeah, they'll just make it.
They'll add more DLC
Yeah,
as goes on. So,
yeah. I,
um,
I think that game was pretty solid.
I
And I think
I
it's
don't
funny
know
that
where to rank this as far as like the developer directs. I think maybe as good as last year. It's just the thing was that fourth game, the kiln game, I think it's more of like a to be determined kind of thing
right,
of like if it catches on and people really gravitate to that when it comes out, then it will prove to be an amazing game, and I think people will that'll we'll look back on it as, oh wow, that was a win for the developer direct. Whereas if that game just absolutely flops, then and Beast of Reincarnation is kind of okay, and Fable maybe gets delayed, which hopefully not. But it's like, if the only thing that comes out of that is Forza Horizon 6, it's not going to be looked at
right.
really well. So, uh, for the most part, I think they did a good job showing all that stuff off. Uh, we did have things that came out afterwards, like Fable's not going to have dog companions.
I didn't expect
Uh,
Fable would. I mean, because only one Fable game had that, and that was Fable 3. Like, why would that be in this one?
I mean, Ralph Fulton of Playground did say that he has people that are still mad at him that is not in the game.
Go
So,
play Sims Medieval. Like if you want that crap.
hey, people like their companions, especially dogs. I don't blame them. They want
Right.
to have their dog with them while they play. And then Forza Horizon 6, even if you have Game Pass, is going to cost you a pretty penny. You're going to have to pay $60 to get the early access version
Yeah.
with Game Pass. Which that doesn't seem like much of a deal.
Well, they still
Uh,
get the game for free, like when it comes out regularly.
yeah, you still
And
get it on Game Pass. You get to play it 5 days early or whatever.
that means
4
nothing. I
days,
mean, like,
sorry. There's people that do it, but
yeah, I
like,
know that. Like,
yeah,
they'll be making like weird custom skins for cars, like the second that game is released. But like, it's not a competitive game like Call of Duty, and also it's if you're getting the game like 5 months earlier, that'd be one thing. But if it's 5 days, like who cares?
yeah. I mean, if you're a huge like Forza bro, then I guess you're probably signed up for that. But it does kind of suck that there's no like. Usually, it was a discount of like 40 or 50, but like, no, you're paying $60 for this.
Yeah,
Ah, damn. Microsoft is not playing around
right.
with this at all. Also, the game I mentioned that where is it gonna? Could it be the surprise game? At least Xbox head Craig Duncan did say the State of Decay 3 is coming on well, whatever that means.
Yeah, it's only
So
been in development for like 8 years. Give it another 6 or 7, it'll be right on time.
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Right.
I want to see this game soon ish, but 2027 feels like that's like way too long. That game should have came out by now. Obviously,
I
the
mean,
pandemic affected things, but
City Decay 2 was like 2018. So that's
yeah, they announced this in 2020,
right.
and then it's like taken this long for them to.
And
Yeah,
I doubt that game is going to be like a significant jump up tech wise or systems wise.
yeah,
So what are they doing?
true. We do really quick before we get into the Ubisoft stuff. We do have the final numbers for the year for sales on games and consoles. Nintendo Switch 2 topped all of 2025, selling another 4.4 million units in December, and still becoming the fastest selling video game console in history. Currently, the Switch are 35% ahead of the PlayStation 4 sales in the same time frame. Of course, this is US only. Um, the console, all this has come despite console unit sales for December falling 8% year over year, and in November, spending on video game consoles fell 27%, marking the worst November in terms of spending for the entire industry in 2 decades. We talked about that. The best-selling games for December, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 still topped the month, despite it being, not great. Metro Prime 4 Beyond without digital sales was at number 7. I think everything else that's there is old. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, the remaster sneaked in there at 19.
Yeah.
So everything else is either a sports game or like Pokemon Legends or Donkey Kong Bonanza, all that kind of stuff. As far as best-selling games of 2025, Battlefield 6 is number 1, outdoing Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Monster Hunter Wilds, Borderlands 4, number 3, NBA 2K26, number 2. Then there's Madden, College Football, EA Sports FC, Oblivion Remaster getting at number 9 for the entire year is pretty crazy. Black Ops 6, the game from last year, is number 10.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yote, number 11. There's MLB The Show. Forza Horizon 5, based on PlayStation 5 sales, is number 16. Split Fiction down there at 19. Pokemon Legends ZA 17 without digital sales. Grand Theft Auto 5, still there at number 20. My God. That game just forever, people. And then you wonder why they're taking their sweet time with 6. Because why? Because they know people will buy that game for years and years and years. So why not just take the time to get it right? Just still crazy to see some of these games that are still selling after all these years. Speaking of things that are not going to be selling, Ubisoft.
Good segue right there.
It's not going to be selling Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake because that has been canceled, Mark. After all that.
Yep.
There was rumors it was supposed to come out like this week.
Yeah, I think like the release date was supposed to be like this week before it got delayed like a few months ago, or
And they also announced as part of that cancellation, they have delayed 7 games.
Yep.
Which includes, unbelievably, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still on the books. And also part of that is the Assassin's Creed Black Flag 4 Black Flag remake.
Yep.
That they have once again essentially alluded to but not announced. That is being delayed till 2027.
We talked about this like last week online, and you were like, "Oh, they delayed." What do you think about the delay Beyond Good and Evil 2? And I'm like, "What delay? Like that game doesn't have a release date. Like it's hard to delay something, when it's never been set in stone ever."
You're not wrong. It's but I mean, it's incredible to me that game is still, they are not letting that go.
We're talking about, well, Jens also said like that game never existed, or it's always just been like a phantom project. And I'm like,
right. I mean, they've shown it a few times.
What are you talking about, man? Joseph Gordon-Levitt said it was true. So,
but
no, I don't. At this point, I didn't play the first one, or like I played like very briefly. I don't care about the first one. I certainly don't care about this one. They will forever. I mean, until the company goes down, which seems very likely at this point, they will continue to say the second one's being made, but I don't believe them. Also, well, you said they delayed 7 games, but they also canceled 6 or something.
Yes, they also canceled 6.
I have very
several of them are supposed to be like major franchises.
Yeah.
So
I very not hopeful look about that Splinter Cell remake.
And they said they're also developing several new IP as well. So we'll see.
That's bad. Like their IP doesn't sell, or they don't. People don't care about their
But I mean, but
content.
that's good that they are making new IP and not just everything has to be from one of these franchises.
Well, yeah, except people want stuff from these old franchises, and they can't. They can deliver that.
I agree with you, but you should always have new IP if you're a
Sure,
publisher.
but like what's their like most recent IP? That Avatar game. It's a great.
I mean, technically, that's not
Yeah, I mean it's not even
their
their game. It's not
IP. It's
not
like
their IP, but like
a
that
game. Yeah,
game.
it's a game based off of that IP. Yeah.
That game, I also think didn't sell that well either.
Yeah, but I mean, it did well for what it is, and then it looks great. It's incredible, and it's actually a really good game for the for what people actually like that game.
Right.
So the thing is, like, they make good, solid games. It's like the problem is people don't seem to buy them.
I mean, they make decent games, but their formula for most of their games is very
It's the
rote.
same.
Or yeah, and
And
like
even they have admitted that they are going to basically stick with that formula. It's open world games or something as a service.
yeah, but like the service games don't do that well anymore. Like For Honor is still around, but that was also made a decade ago, along with that
Rainbow
Tom
Six
Clancy game.
Siege.
Yeah,
The
like X
Division is
Defiant.
still around.
Well, they said they're making a new Division game, or
Yeah, Division 3
the
is
guy was like, "Oh, we want Division 3 to be as impactful as Division 1 was." It's like that was impactful. Like
right.
that's news to me. Like, huh?
So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, look at X Defiant. Like they spent all that money into that, and it died in within 6 months.
When
Or
Rainbow Six Extraction
like
they have
Skull and
they have
Bones.
several. Skull and Bones is still there technically.
Yeah,
It's still one of their
it's the first
franchises.
quadruple A games you can buy for $10 easily nowadays.
So just to kind of mosey this along, and also so we can kind of have an idea of what they're trying to do here. They have essentially outlined their studios into and franchises into creative houses. So the only thing I can really think about is sort of like the Square Enix creative business unit, whatever.
Yeah, Creative Business Unit 3,
And
the most
creative
creative
house
of
number one is the
the
Vantage Studios stuff.
most creative of all names. Go on.
Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. That includes the Barcelona studio, Montreal Vantage, Quebec, Sanguinet, Sherbrooke, and Sofia. Good lord. That's a lot of places.
Right.
Ghost Recon, Splinter. So all the Tom Clancy stuff and Avatar, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, The Division, and Avatar are all together. And Creative House 2, which includes the Paris studio, which may also be facing layoffs pretty soon. Massive, which that's the Division studio, Montreal, CH2, and Toronto. This also makes me worry about, is Splinter Cell going to be turned into a multiplayer game and not necessarily a single player game? Because these are all, I mean, Avatar's a single player game too, but most of the focus here seems to be on a multiplayer kind of basis.
Right.
Then you have Creative House 3, which has a lot of their, or basically all their other live service stuff, which is Brawlhalla, For Honor, Riders Republic. I forget that that's still going on. Skull and Bones, and The Crew.
I'm surprised Brawlhalla's still around. Also, like,
Brawlhalla still does decent, but like it's kind of is. And this is the Blue Mammoth Games, Ivory Tower, and Montreal CH3. And then you have Anno that seems to be thrown in here with a bunch of Beyond Good and Evil, Might and Magic, Prince of Persia, Rayman, and Trackmania are all in Creative House 4. Yeah. That's the Mines, Milan, Montpellier, Montreal CH4, and Nadeau Studio. And then the rest of it is like, here's all our other shit in Creative House 5, which is Growtopia, I forgot they own that. Hasbro Games, Horse, Hungry Shark, Invincible, whatever. Just Dance, Cold Breeze Portfolio, and Uno.
I only know Just Dance in that entire list. So
I know the Hasbro games and Uno and stuff like that was, and
I mean, I know Hasbro, but like they don't like exploit that a ton. So
and this has got the Abu Dhabi studio, which also just suffered some layoffs, and then the other all their mobile game stuff.
right.
And they've also 4 unannounced IPs in development, which will all fall into Creative House 2, 3, and 4, depending on the IP's theme. And then they have a bunch of stuff that's within their creative network, Nebulous Creative Network. And then, of course, they're also worried about, I mentioned the layoffs at the Paris studio, which apparently they're going to strike against that. The workers are. That's how ridiculous this entire thing is. And then that they're trying to essentially, by March 2028, have all bunch of cost cutting. So you're going to have much more layoffs going on. And then, of course, I mentioned the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake being canceled.
Yep.
What does that say that you can't remake your own game?
That a majority, well, there's a cynical way and then the real way. The cynical way is to say like the studios can't do it, or the programmers and the employees are all bad or whatever.
Right.
The real way is it's all management's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I also do think that maybe it's like one of those where they spent too much money.
Yeah.
And
but
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, everyone wants that Eve Guillemot guy to go. Except for him. And the problem is he owns the company, or he owns the majority of the stock, or
Oh, and then I mean, now after what they did to make sure that he essentially doesn't have to leave the company because they did the Vantage Studios thing.
Yeah.
It's like, forget it,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know if you saw like I think it came out a few days ago, but like the recent Kotaku article saying like, morale is down at Ubisoft, or is it strike rate or whatever.
When is their morale ever up at Ubisoft?
Yeah, it's like, well, also it's like, yeah, like if you're working for this insane company, like why would it be up? Or would you have morale working there? Hell no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice that they have found something for each one of their studios to be doing, and they have this grand vision of what this is going to do, and we're trying to make this all make sense. But you know what it's going to lead to. It's just all prime for layoffs, people getting cut, more things are going to get canceled.
Right.
This is just the beginning of it, right? Will all the stuff that's in development now come out? Probably not. Will they ever cancel Beyond Good and Evil 2? Who knows? But it feels like, I mean, I guess it's good that they finally took this step, but it's not enough, I feel like.
Let me ask you a real question. Which comes out first in your view? Beyond Good and Evil 2 or Star Citizen?
Wow.
And I'm not talking like whatever dumb demo Star Citizen has out now. I'm talking.
You mean Star Citizen finally comes out of alpha and actually fully releases, right?
Yeah, version 1.0.
I think at this one we have a chance that one day that guy will just wake up and be like, okay, Star Citizen is released. Compared to whatever Beyond Good and Evil 2 stage is at right now. It's like,
but the thing with Star Citizen is nothing will actually change. It'll just be like a version update number, and
exactly. And then he'll just keep
no content, or
he'll keep saying, "Oh, I still need more money for stuff." The most manipulative game ever.
I think Splinter Cell's done. I'm honestly surprised they're still continuing with Rayman.
They need to, though. Rayman needs to get a reboot. He needs to get back out there. If there's ever a time, right now, mascot games are kind of getting back in vogue again. Like, we have indies doing them. Like, why not, man? That's one of the most classic platformers out there.
Sure, but they never treated them with the respect he deserves either.
I agree. But yeah,
I think that Black Flag thing is also kind of in danger. I don't mean like it's going to get canceled, but I think they released details a few months ago about the changes they're making, the upgrades,
Right.
and people weren't happy. So I think
Yeah,
they might be
people just
going.
want to play that game again. They don't want all these
Yeah, they don't want live service crap,
changes.
or they don't want
Mm.
some transaction microtransaction store. So
We
hopefully they're
definitely
going.
don't need that. Please, we don't.
Hopefully they're going back to the well in that game and going like, let's just take this out and give people what they want for once.
Knowing them, probably not.
Nope. I think it's funny that they're gonna like in the quote on the thing you have one of the quotes is like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is a live game. It's like why? Like
Because they need it to be. They need everything to be a live game.
yeah,
You know. Uh,
I would. I mean, what are like if you were suddenly given
Thanks,
control
Crafty. Appreciate that.
if you were
Um,
given control of Ubisoft right now, what are like the three properties or franchises you would focus on?
I feel like it has to be their main three, right?
No,
Like,
I'm talking like if you
okay,
could do any
aside from the main three, you're talking about like bringing back.
bringing yeah, or like actually like focusing on like really
Okay, you gotta keep Siege because that makes money.
okay,
You gotta keep Assassin's Creed because that's the only thing that you have that makes money. And maybe you could take a fly. Like I personally, because I'm a platformer person, I would take a fly on Rayman. But you know, I think you can make the case for that's why the three that are in Vantage Studios are in there because to them, Far Cry and making it a multiplayer focused thing is gonna make that thing live on and make money and that series also makes money. Like Far Cry 6 sold a ridiculous amount of copies that I think most of us probably wouldn't think that it did.
right.
Um, I know you didn't like the game particularly, but also I think the Division's not a bad thing for them to make sure they're making a third one of because right now people kind of want that game to come out again and be good.
What I would do is I would uh Assassin's Creed. I would transition Siege into just being a Tom Clancy game. Uh, like drop the Siege name, and also maybe roll out like a Vegas 3. That'd be cool. And then Splinter Cell.
All right, that's fair.
But then them going like, I know there's someone over there is probably thinking we could do another crew game. It's like, no, you cannot. Please stop it. You've made three of these
Well,
things and no one cared.
they will go ahead and just keep working on the crew,
Right.
the one that exists now, because again, they want to make it a forever game, especially after the crap that they dealt with Crew One,
Right.
saying it
The
was going to go
server
down
shut
and all
down.
that
Yeah.
stuff. So, look, this you got to start somewhere, but to me, and unless this stuff really actually helps them, who knows? I feel like you're just treading water.
Yeah.
Um,
Completely.
and just hoping that like you're just throwing hopium into the air and saying, all right, whatever next Assassin's Creed that comes out, it's gonna be
Hope it's
the
good.
shit.
Yeah. The
And
which one?
we're gonna keep living off of Siege and whatever other forever game that we can come out with, you know.
Yep.
Is it like to me it just I still look at it, go back to Prince of Persia the Lost Crown and how much that game should have been not just getting that game should have been played with more people. That game should have been cheaper. Um, it should have been more accessible to people. I know you could have, subscribed to Ubisoft Plus and played that thing or whatever. And I know Metroidvanias aren't super hard, but it was a really good game. Um, and it kind of just sucks that they can't make that anymore. It has to be a banger game, you know?
Well, that's
And-
the thing is like
yeah,
they put all their eggs in the live service basket or like the big open world basket, and those
yeah.
baskets don't do well anymore. Like compared to other stuff.
Yeah, I think there are. I mean, obviously GTA, whatever. I think the problem is, and they brought it up themselves, right? The whole kind of like where we're at with games, where people are kind of sticking more to those games that they play all the time.
Right.
And GTA 6 will be another one of those that will then take people's time away from you playing other games. And Ubisoft continues to make these games that make people have to not only spend $70, but you're telling them that in order for them to get somewhere in this game, they got to spend 100 and something hours. And people
Yeah.
don't want to do that,
Like
you
if
know?
I think what people want from a Splinter Cell
Uh,
remake is Splinter Cell remake, like a single player Sam Fisher story. And then if it has like Mercs for Spies, cool. But they're not going to do that. They're going to make it, be some massively multiplayer thing that people just don't want. To, it's like it's such a time investment in the first place. It's like, please God, no, don't do it.
yeah. But I mean, all right. I'm sure that more will come out about this story
Right. When you get to
as
really
time
hear
goes
that,
on.
when you get to
So,
really hear that Splinter Cell got canceled.
yeah, I think I'll say this. I do think that them having that show probably saves them from canceling. Is if the show did decently well, it got nominated for things.
Tell that to Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal got renewed,
No, I
right?
don't mean the show. I meant the game. You
Well,
know.
yeah, but that's Sony, right? And they were trying to make a live service thing out of something that probably shouldn't be a live service.
Right.
So it's probably better if they cancel it and not try to force that through. Um, aside from this stuff, those are the two like main big stories.
Yeah.
Some other kind of smaller things. Super Mario Brothers Wonder Switch 2 editions going to come out March 26th for $80 if you don't have the original Mario Wonder.
That's too
Uh,
much. But go on.
that's way too much, but and that also includes a $20 that bell to bell park thing and adding a couple characters and whatever, which I don't feel is worth the $20, but
Right.
maybe to each their own on that. Um, they added a free update to Donkey Kong Country Returns that has Dixie Kong. And also they added what was it? Oh, they had the new trailer for the
Mario.
Mario Galaxy movie,
Yeah.
which revealed Birdo and Yoshi.
Yep.
Finally, Yoshi. I'm glad to. I mean, we pretty much knew he was going to be in this movie, but
He was in the first one.
glad to know he's finally there.
Right.
And then yeah. Also, unfortunately, aside from that, layoffs at Starbreeze.
Yeah.
Layoffs at Amazon Games head Christoph Hartzman left the studio.
I mean, Amazon's not making games anymore.
Yeah, I mean the New World MMO is going to get sunset after next year. I don't know if we talked about that. And also, developer of Wildgate, Moonshot Studios, had a few layoffs as well, which sucks.
We didn't talk
Um,
about the Life is Strange reunion game. I
yeah,
think
they
we
announced
talked.
that.
Yeah.
I know you're probably going to talk about Ashley Birch not being
It's kind of annoying, but you know, whatever. I don't actually play that game either because I don't think they're gonna do it right.
You don't think so?
I mean, it's not don't not doing it. Like they haven't made it since the first one, and I just don't like how those games are written. Like now, like
Yeah. I mean, the problem is like we talked about. I think, but we
the
did
last
the
show.
show
Yeah,
before. Was that whatever you do, they have like really dampered the expectations for Life is Strange. Every
yeah,
game after True Colors has been a letdown. It feels like, And it's just like this kind of feels like it's their last gasp at trying to do something.
Yeah. Which I would say just have this be like the last game in the franchise and wrap it all up. But I mean, sales probably bear that as well.
Yeah, true.
And then he can have Chloe or Max be in the new Smash Brothers game.
Yes, that's what they're gonna be relegated to. Is I mean,
They'll be the Chloe assist trophy.
but anything else you wanted to mention before we?
Not really. No. Yep. We'll just keep on going.
All right, so we'll just go ahead and just finish the show how we usually do with the games that are coming out this week. So we already talked about High Guard earlier in the show. And a weird ass game that I saw that's coming out on PC called Winnie's Hole, which, yeah, I don't know, man. It just looks like it's there to freak you the hell out, and I guess it's going to do that. It's like a Winnie the Pooh game, but they're like, it's like kind of horror based or whatever. Rightfully Bear Arms comes out is already out. It's like bullet hell game where you play as a bear, and it looks kind of cool. Kind of gives me like Dispatch is out on Switch and Switch 2, and that's already gotten a lot of hate for the censorship because of Nintendo.
What do you expect? Like,
yeah, like that people really okay, so here's the thing, right? Like they have uncensored stuff,
right?
I think it's because this is animated, so it's more appealing to kids. It's about superheroes,
right?
Also more appealing to kids, so they probably push for that to get censored because they didn't want kids wanting to buy that, or people wanting to buy it on Switch that saw it on other platforms, and then parents get mad that it has all this stuff in it,
right?
That it's kind of sexual in nature or whatever. And yeah, like, my goodness.
Yep.
I do think people are right about, okay, we shouldn't censor things. It sucks to have an inferior version on a console, and if that's the only console you have, I feel bad for you. But it's also Nintendo. Like,
right.
Would expect. Also Lane Split, which I've heard is not that great, is like first person like motorcycle game, indie game. The game I talked about, Steel Century Groove, also is out now. Karen's out now. Don't Stop Girly Pop, which is arena shooter, but girly style. Out now. I Hate This Place, which is like kind of comics survival game that hasn't gotten good reviews, but it's out now. And Perfect Pencil is another one of the Metroidvanias out now. Code Vein 2. Where's James at with this?
He doesn't really want to play it because the reviews aren't great and it doesn't have multiplayer.
Okay.
I mean, he'll probably get it regardless, but it seems like a step. He was like, "Oh, the reviews aren't good for this one," and I was like, "Yo, the last game wasn't good either."
Yeah, no, it wasn't. People just, it was new and it was Anime Soul, so
yeah, so that's why he likes it. So
yeah. No, well, we'll see. I wonder if you'll get roped into buying it. You think?
Me? No.
No, not you. Him.
Oh yeah, he'll buy it regardless.
Our reviewer Will liked it. They reviewed it on Honor Haven. So,
yeah.
I think it's being one of those again. Like, some folks are gonna like it a lot more than others.
Right.
Front Mission 3 Remake also comes out to everything but Switch and Switch 2. Or that's already like out today. So yeah, quite a few things. out there for people that still not like the major games, but this has been a pretty decent January for like indies and stuff. So,
Sure.
but yeah. So until next week, everybody, or until Monday,
Right.
we'll see you later.
Later.